For many Virginia Tech football fans, it is difficult to put the frustration surrounding playing East Carolina over the past few years into words. Since 2011, these teams have played 4 times, and every single game has been decided by a touchdown or less. Recent memory includes 2 games that most Hokie fans would like to forget. Last season, Virginia Tech went up on an early 14-0 lead. However, they relinquished that advantage and eventually lost by a 35-28 margin. But the loss that still lingers for many, including myself, was the home defeat Virginia Tech suffered in 2014, coming off that incredible win over Ohio State at the Horseshoe. It was just a devastating loss, and so, needless to say, there will be no hangover in this game. There will be certainly no taking East Carolina lightly based on the history these two teams have had. I am certainly frustrated with athletic director Whit Babcock's decision to extend this series because it seems like Virginia Tech has nothing to gain from it. And really, it's a crucial game. It's a trap game, if you will, as the Hokies, beyond this point, will face the brunt of the ACC conference slate. But, looking at the ECU Pirates, their main man is their quarterback, Philip Nelson, the Minnesota transfer. 3 games into the season, already has over 1,000 yards passing, including throwing in excess of 400 yards against South Carolina in a loss. So that tells me that even if East Carolina falls down early, they still must be taken extremely seriously because they have a solid quarterback, one who is experienced and can get the job done. He has 7 touchdown passes to his name so far with 3 interceptions, but has a very strong completion percentage at 79%. DBU for the Hokies with Adonis Alexander, Brandon Faison, and Greg Stroman, they all have to be ready to go. In terms of their receiving core, ECU has Zay Jones, who has 39 receptions for 433 yards and a touchdown. The guy who's reached the end zone the most, though, is Anthony Scott, who has only 143 receiving yards comparatively, but has reached pay dirt 3 times. So ECU will look to throw the ball. Their main running back, Anthony Scott, ran for over 100 yards in their season opener against Western Carolina, the win there. However, he could not muster 50 yards against NC State and South Carolina. And while we're talking about ECU, it's very important. They're going to come into this game confident because they've already taken down an ACC opponent. They beat NC State earlier this season. So the Pirates are a force to be reckoned with. It certainly seems like they're going to improve upon last year's 5-7 mark. However, the Hokies look poised to improve upon last year's record. So Gerard Evans is one of the big reasons why I'm backing the Hokies in this game. As I mentioned last week, between 2005 and 2015, no Virginia Tech quarterback had thrown for 4 touchdowns in a single game. Gerard Evans did it twice in 3 weeks, including tying a school record with 5 touchdown passes against Boston College in the Lane at good old Lane Stadium last Saturday. So Evans is going to be brimming with confidence. Isaiah Ford is certainly one of the top wide receivers in college football. It was kind of cool seeing Adonis Alexander tweet out earlier this week, "I don't care what anybody says. I love the fact that I get to go up against the best wide receiver in the country in practice." I did not say that verbatim. That is essentially what he said. And, it's refreshing to hear that. Ford, of course, is going to have bags of confidence as well. That touchdown grab he had against Boston College was simply spectacular, out of this world through the tightest of double coverages. In terms of looking beyond that in the receiving core, Bucky Hodges will look to kind of shore up the issues he's had with his drops and continue to get his conditioning right. He's kind of been caught out of breath, but then again, everyone has it. Such a high-octane, fast-powered offense. So, on top of that, Cam Phillips, what's he going to bring to the table? And then, of course, Divine Diablo. Maybe I said it just so I could say his name, but, he's a bright up-and-coming freshman who could figure more prominently into the offensive attack moving forward. In the backfield, Trayvon Mcmillan has led the team in carries so far, and rightfully so. He is Virginia Tech's best running back, in my opinion, and his running his run, his scamper down the sideline against Tennessee was a sight to behold. Love the way Trayvon Mcmillan is running so far. Catching passes out of the backfield too, which is a specialty of Sam Rodgers. He is the ultimate workhorse, the do-it-all man, and I look for him to continue to get it done, particularly with catching passes out of the backfield. It was also very refreshing to see Marshawn Williams come back. He's dealt with his suspensions, his injuries. It's been a litany of issues for him, but he had 15 carries for 81 yards last week. He looked lighter. He had great burst. He's got a bright future. Got to like Marshawn Williams. Shy McKenzie, too, is going to play a major factor. He's a very talented runner in his own right. It's an embarrassment of riches when it comes to the skill position players for the Virginia Tech offense. But in terms of the defense, again, you want to see Bud Foster continue to dial up the pressure, try to make Philip Nelson nervous. I love watching Andrew Matuapuaka play. His energy, his spirit, his leadership is contagious. Also keep an eye on redshirt freshman Tim Settle. He was named the special teams captain last week, the honorary number 25, paying tribute to Frank Beamer as Justin Fuente. So excellently instilled for this team this season. And, what else can you say about Ken Ekinem, the monster defensive end? He is wreaking havoc in backfields all so far this season. I look for him to get at least 1 sack, and 2 would be very nice. So when it comes down to it, both teams have solid defenses. The difference is Virginia Tech is going to generate turnovers. ECU will not, unless the Hokies suffer from butterfingers again, holding on to the football. But at the end of the day, I'm going to predict a close win, as usual, for the Hokies in this series. Virginia Tech 30, East Carolina 27. And for those who have passed and for those to come, reach for excellence.